Okay. Hi, I'm Rose McDonough, and I'm a retired home ec teacher. All my life, when I was teaching kids, all I thought was they just need simple recipes that they can make to eat for life. So that's what we decided to do. Come up with a few recipes that might help you in your life. Today, when I was at the grocery store, I found a bag of avocados. $1.29. That's it. Normally an avocado is $1.29. So I thought, guacamole sounds like a great thing. Now I cut out a few spots that weren't so good, but I ended up with quite a bit of guacamole. So if you look at this one, I cut this avocado, got a little space here I probably don't want to use. So I'm going to, with the good stuff, come around. I'm going to scoop it out, drop it in. It's got that beautiful green color. And some of it's a little bit brown. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. You can still eat it. Who throws away food that's still good? Nobody, and especially not a home ec teacher that has to feed a family. Alrighty, got that. Leaving that little piece behind. Tossing that over. I mulch, so what we do is we put things out there. It goes back into the ground at a later time. Once you have all your avocado, there are some people who will tell you to go ahead and immediately coat your avocado with lime juice. The lime juice, believe it or not, is not for the flavor. Although some people like it for the flavor, it's actually, the reason you have it is that it stops the browning from happening. I did this a few minutes ago. It's starting to brown some. We're going to eat all of it tonight. It's not going to matter to any of the rest of us. I'm mashing it with a fork. A good ripe avocado should be able to be mashed with a fork. You don't need to use a food processor. You don't have to have a big potato masher. All you need is something as simple as this. So I've got this ready to go. The next thing I want to add is lemon juice because I personally like lemon juice. I have a lemon. You want to roll your lemon first. Why? Doesn't that sound silly? Who told you to play with your food before you ate it? Well, I'm rolling my lemon because I'm breaking everything loose and I'm breaking up the juices, so I will get a lot more juice. I only need a half of a lemon for this recipe. Don't you worry, I will not be wasting anything. I will be putting that in my water later. I happen to have this handy dandy juicer. I must tell you, it was my mother's. I don't remember ever seeing her use it. And if my mother were still alive today, she'd be 90. But I did inherit it from her kitchen, and I'm pretty sure I am the only one to ever use it. Or it was used by a grandmother before then, which makes this thing, well, let's just say old. But it works really well. So you're just twisting on here, you're good to go. I've got most of the pulp. Isn't that amazing how it takes everything out? And I want to get out the seeds because nobody wants to eat a seed. So let me scoop these out very quickly. I'm going to scoop out a little bit of the pulp. I don't want big chunks of pulp in with this. I should have mentioned that before we started the camera going, I did wash my hands. And I gathered all of my tools and equipment that I will need and my foods together so that we don't have to waste anyone's time doing this. I think I have out all of them. Love the smell of lemons. And we're ready to go. So I'm going to not pour in right away because I want to add a couple of my ingredients to the lemon juice, sort of to soften them up right away. I always have a wet cloth because I like to wipe my hands a whole lot. I got my measuring spoons out. I may or may not use them, I'm not sure. I want to measure some cilantro. Not everybody likes cilantro, and fresh cilantro is delicious. I don't happen to have any fresh cilantro. I do have some McCormick cilantro leaves though that are dry. And I'm going to say about a teaspoon. Oh my gosh, look at these old measuring spoons. You can't see any numbers on here. This is what you need to know. The big one is the tablespoon. The next one is a teaspoon, a half of a teaspoon and a quarter teaspoon. And by a wonderful way of happening, 3 teaspoons equals 1 tablespoon. So as long as you have some fingers hanging around here and didn't lose a digit, you're good for learning a bit of this stuff. All right, so I'm going to go with a half of a teaspoon to start. And I'm going to do something that most people don't see you do. I'm going to take this dried cilantro and I'm going to put it in my fingers, in my hands, and I'm going to use my thumb and I'm going to crunch it. The difference in the flavor and the aroma is amazing because I have broken up the oils and brought it back to life. Anytime you're using a dried herb, you should go ahead and do that. I'm going to add a splash That's a technical term you might find in a cooking book. A splash of cumin. Just a little bit. That's it. Hardly anything whatsoever. I love to use red onion in a lot of foods. I have a really picky kid. I don't like onions for whatever reason. He chooses to say that, so I sneak onions in without telling him. I'm going to go with a teaspoon of minced onion, and I'm going to put it in this lemon juice so that it starts to soften before I actually add it into my food. And the last thing I'm going to do, oh, I'm sorry, I have 2 more ingredients. Oh, I should probably measure. All right, I'm going to measure a teaspoon of olive oil. You use whatever oils you want, but I'm going to tell you, olive oil is the better oil. Some people don't like the flavor of it. If you don't like it, try coconut oil. Maybe you might like that a little bit better. And I could have gone ahead and chopped up and minced up a whole bunch of garlic, but I'm not going to do that. Again, I'm just going to do some measuring of the garlic because we happen to like a lot of garlic. So I'm going to go to a half of a teaspoon, sort of. That doesn't look enough. Do you like garlic? Then you put in as much as you like. I'm going to go ahead with a teaspoon because a half of a teaspoon and a half of a teaspoon is a teaspoon. And now I'm going to mix this up in here a little bit. Once I have this mixed up, then I'm going to add it to my mashed avocado. The last thing I'm going to add, forgot to get a tool out, I can't believe it, a rubber scraper. Everybody should have 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 of these in their kitchen, and I don't even know how many I have at this point. Rubber scrapers are the best things since sliced bread. Anyone who's getting married, I make sure they get a rubber scraper. They don't even know what they're missing if they didn't put it on their wish list. All right, I have this. I don't know, it looks okay, right? What do you think, Brooke? Looks all right? Not too bad. It's missing some color, though. It's ugly. It's all greens and stuff. It needs something else. I don't want to put in any hot peppers exactly, but I do want some hot pepper flavoring. So I'm going to use diced tomatoes with green chilies, and I'm going to do probably a couple of tablespoons of this. I might add in more. I don't know. At this point, I'm adding 3. What I'm going to do is mix it up and look at it. Is it what I want? This technique, going down across the bottom and flipping over and around, down across the bottom and flipping over, down across the bottom and flipping over. I'm rolling the rubber scraper. That's called folding. You want to do that to incorporate all the ingredients together. If you have to do something that you don't want to lose any air out of, for instance, you're doing something with whipped cream, that's the technique that you want. All right, so doesn't it look a little bit prettier? Not enough red in it. We need to add a little more red. I don't plan to use this whole can. You need to give it 15-20 minutes for it to sit, and so the flavors can meld together. And yes, meld is a word. So that the flavors can meld together, so that any of your dried herbs can break loose and get throughout your food. Other than that, we're pretty much finished with it. That's all there was to it. Very simple. Looks pretty good. I think it looks yummy. I see a clump of guac, of the avocado that I didn't get broken up. I'm sure somebody will be happy to eat that, and they won't really mind it. If it bothers you, get your fork back out, mash up a little bit more. It does not bother me. I like to use pink Himalayan salt. You can use coarse salt. You can use regular table salt. It's up to you. You also have to do this by taste. This is one of those things you add in, fold it back in at the very end. Again, you're going to look at it. Is it the color that you want it to be? And it smells wonderful. And I just made this for a couple of dollars. And this is a lot of guacamole. So we better be eating a lot of guac tonight. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you again soon.